We had a Friday night thriller at T-Mobile Arena against the Ottawa Senators. Is there growing concern over Adin Hill? And Chris will preview tonight's matchup against the San Jose Sharks. It's all coming up on Locked On VGK.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Saturday afternoon, everybody. We couldn't get to you in the morning, but we're here in the afternoon. There goes Chris's phone. That's okay. We'll keep going. Still better quality than what Tony has. All right, so let's get right into this. This is the Chris and Chris edition of Locked On VGK. This is a Saturday exclusive on YouTube. You can catch Locked On VGK Monday through Friday with myself and Tony Cordasco, anywhere you catch your podcasts and on YouTube. Chris, we were in the arena last night. There was some mayhem happening. What are your impressions on Friday night's thriller against the Ottawa Senators?
I definitely think we increased as the game went on, because in the very first half of the first period, I thought that they were literally going to shut us out. Like it was terrible, but then we got those 2 straight clean goals in the first to tie that up. And then of course we know we had the crazy third period, which won it.
Yeah, no, it was pretty bonkers. I had just put a tweet out there after Claude Giroux scored the second goal of the game that gave the Ottawa a 2-0 lead. I said, Linus Ullmark is going to be a tough goalie to play against with a 2-goal lead. And that tweet was up for probably 60 seconds of real time, and the game was tied. Nick Waugh, Nick Hague, the two Nicks score within 21 seconds of each other. Nick Waugh gets in tight, finds a soft spot. Nick Hague just puts it into the money zone, and good things happened. And you would think the game was going to wind up going tied into intermission. Then Drake Batherson gets a goal. So let's talk about some of the Ottawa goals right here, Chris. Adin Hill. We're going to talk more about Adin Hill in the second segment, but Adin Hill. All right. First goal was bad. We're not going to sugarcoat that. Adin does get chipped a little bit, a little bit of a bump. No doubt in my mind there was a bump there. Adin gets set, but he still is all twisted up trying to make a save. Had no idea where the puck was going. Not enough meat on the bone for a challenge from Coach Cassidy that he would have lost anyway if there was a challenge. So that's the first goal. The second goal, the Claude Giroux goal, that was an outstanding effort. You have a puck that gets deflected on the way in, so Adin Hill's already off balance. Claude Giroux, I forgot who he literally outwilled and almost jumped over. Let's see, I'm watching the simulation right now. Looks like it's going to be Braden McNabb. Yeah, he literally jumped over Braden McNabb and just found a way. The third goal of the game, this is just where things kind of started to go kind of south. That was the Gaudette goal. So again, you have a spot where the Golden Knights, they're on the penalty kill. Nick Waugh doesn't know where to go when he comes back to cover. Zach Whitecloud gets stuck flat-footed. No blame on any of them. It's just one of those situations where everyone just kind of wasn't on the same page. And then the last goal that Ottawa got, Braden McNabb. This was a very unfortunate turn of events. This is actually going to be the third goal. My apologies there. It was actually the third goal. McNabb just simply tried to clear the puck, went right to the stick of Batherson. Batherson is in alone on Adin Hill. So again, we'll focus more on Adin Hill in a little bit. Were you concerned, Chris, when the score was 2-0? I know there wasn't much time went by, but when it was 2-0, did you think this game? Did you feel Vegas?
I thought it was going to be 5-0. I thought it was going to be a 5-0 game at that point. I thought it was going to be 5. I thought that was going to be a 5-0 game.
It felt like a weird game in the making, didn't it? Right? It was just weird. The Golden Knights didn't have a lot of. They didn't find their game. When the Golden Knights, and this isn't new for any hockey team, when they're playing their game, when they find their game, they're doing well. Golden Knights are good on the transition. They're good at getting the puck north and south very, very quickly. They usually play pretty good defense. This game really not as much. But then the Golden Knights found their game. They got those 2 quick goals again. Nick Waugh, Nick Hague, Barbashev, nice deflection in tights. And then Tomas Hertl right from the bumper on the power play. Keegan Kolesar snipes one. Barbashev gets an empty netter, and the hometown goes home happy. 6-4 winner, just like everyone thought it was going to be. But honestly, I felt bad things were happening. Right after that second goal, I'm like, they don't got it tonight. They being the Golden Knights. It was just I mean, you were frustrated. You were shouting at the team a little bit. I was kind of crossing my, just not really understanding what was going on. And then it just kind of worked out. So, Chris, why do you think the Golden Knights were able to get back in that game? What changed for you as far as when you were watching that game?
I think Adin Hill definitely progressed as the game went on. That helps a lot, and I think we, like you said, we just found our game. They found their game, and then everything. And after that, and once they got that first goal in the third, everything went uphill from there.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. Like all these goals, I mean, they all felt like nearly transition or good puck move. Like the Nicholas Waugh goal, just some really great puck movements. And then Nick Waugh just is wide open right in front of Ullmark. He gets his shot. Nicholas Hague's goal, this was definitely a transition, just a chip and chase, right? White Cloud gets it deep. Turnover is cause. And Nick Hague, like, there's nothing there. He just fires the puck in. It goes off of a Senators player, and boom, there we go. Barbashev's tipping. Same deal. You got some puck movement. The puck is, there's really nothing happening, but Barbashev is sitting right there, right in front. And then, yeah, so this goal simulation feature, Chris, remember what I showed you the other day when I was working?
Yeah.
How it shows that's what I'm watching, these simulations. It's so nice. I didn't even know this existed until now. I'm so glad I found this. So it's so much fun to watch like this. So, like we said, Golden Knights found their game. They found their transition game. I put out a tweet at the start of the third period. I said, this feels like one of those games where at the end, the coach, Coach Cassidy and the players will be saying, we found a way to win. If it happens, lo and behold, they found a way to win, Chris. So, weird game, Friday afternoon game. Crowd was kind of dead. Then they were into it. Then they were kind of dead. Then they were into it. And we went from wondering if the Golden Knights were going to lose to Allie and Mommy complaining about overtime possibly to getting out the door about 2 minutes before the buzzer sounded, because that's how quick things changed. For me, Chris, so little time passing between Golden Knights goals. You had 22 seconds of game time between the first and 21 seconds of game time between the first and second goal. And then the Golden Knights' fourth, fifth, and sixth goals, you had, I think it was 85 seconds of game time that went by. You know what it felt like, Chris? It felt like a Golden Knights Blues third period. How about that? Golden Knights and Blues, I stumped them. The Golden Knights and Blues have had some fun matchups in T-Mobile Arena. Me and Chris always talk about that. So it kind of felt like that. Chris, one thing I do want to add, I guess, before we get here, I got some notes. So we're going to transition to Adin Hill right now as well. We're going to start with the good with Adin Hill before we talk about the concern. So the good is that Ottawa had 11 shots on goal in the third period. Adin stopped every single one. Certainly some high dangers in there. The Ottawa Senators had 4 power play shots on goal in the third period. Again, Adin Hill stopped all of those. Ottawa's power play. So the Golden Knights, Chris, got a good power play, right? They're 4th overall in the league.
Yeah.
You know where Ottawa is in the league for as far as power play?
Where?
2. They are 2nd overall in power play. So the fact that the Golden Knights were able to keep Ottawa off the board in the third, Adin Hill did a very, very good job in the third period. Concern about Adin Hill. Here's what's happened in his 5 starts for the Golden Knights this year. The Golden Knights have needed to score 5 or greater goals in 4 of 5 Adin Hill starts this season. The one game where they didn't need to score 5, they needed to score 4. That was the Blues game we went to a few Fridays ago. Adin Hill's overall numbers not very good. Chris, you what are you seeing with Adin Hill at the games? What are you seeing?
Of course, he had the 1 stick save. They don't shut up about.
Yeah, you're talking about game. You're talking about what, game 1 or game 2 of the Stanley Cup final? Good. Okay, fine. Talk about Adin Hill this year.
I'm really more on. I thought in the preseason that he was going to be the goalie for the season, but from what I've seen by especially these last few games, I think Samsonoff is going to be. I think Samsonoff should be the new starting goaltender.
So Adin Hill actually improved, as weird as this sounds. He improved to an .864 save percentage from an .855. Goals against is a .385, which I think is also that's actually a tiny bit decline because it was 4 goals given up. But point being is these are concern. This is something to be concerned about right now. Samsonoff's been playing very, very well. We'll talk about Samsonoff in a second here, but Samsonoff has been playing very, very well. With Adin Hill, it's not just about the numbers, but when you watch him out there, he's not moving that well. And Adin Hill's a bigger goalie, like Samsonoff, and even like Akira Schmid, who we saw down in Henderson last week. Big body goalie, which is fine. Big body goalies aren't as fast. They're bigger people. They take up more room in the net, but they make that up with positioning. Adin Hill isn't moving at all, and his positioning hasn't been great, in my opinion. Chris, what do you think?
I mean, I was not really impressed by him at all yesterday. And I haven't really been impressed with him basically this whole regular season. And the preseason was, I think, has when I was most impressed by him. And that's a problem.
Preseason, I remember I think it was the Sharks preseason game where he did. You won't understand this reference, but he did the Roger Dorn Major League Ole trying to save a puck, and it was really bizarre how it went in. But yeah. So comparing to Samsonoff here, who will be playing in net for the Golden Knights against the San Jose Sharks, we'll talk about that in the third segment briefly. But Samsonoff, listen, 3 games so far, 3 appearances, allowed 6 goals, so he's obviously a 2.0 goals against, technically 195 at rounds to maybe I don't know how that happened, whatever. Point being is 2-0-1 for Samsonoff, but what gets me is a .944 save percentage. Now, pump the brakes a little bit. I could be wrong, but I feel like the puck has made contact with the posts with Samsonoff in net 5 or 6 times. You're talking less than an inch or a centimeter, and all those could have been goals. And if that's the case, we're talking a different circumstance here. That said, Samsonoff's numbers are good. Samsonoff is also passing the eye test. Who do you feel more confident, Chris? If I tell you Adin Hill is starting or Ilya Samsonov, who do you feel more confident is going to get the Golden Knights a good effort in net right now?
From what I saw last game, Samsonoff.
Samsonoff the entire season, I think, not just last game. But yeah, now again, listen, we're not going to dump on Adin Hill this entire segment. Adin Hill might have turned a corner in that third period. We won't know, obviously, until Monday when the Golden Knights play the Gary Flames. We'll see. I'm assuming Adin Hill is going to go on Monday. Coach Cassidy in the presser isn't necessarily locked in on that. So there was a little bit of margin for maybe he's going to go, maybe he's not going to go. Looking ahead at the Golden Knights schedule here after this game against the Flames. After this game against, is it the Flames on Monday? What are they playing? It is Flames. Okay, they're going on Wednesday. They're going to Los Angeles for a quick roadie. They come back on Saturday against Utah, and then after that, 2 on the road, 1 at home, 2 on the road. There's no back-to-backs or anything like that. So there's no guaranteed spots where the goalies are going to split games here. So if one of these goalies does go 2 games in a row after today's game, like if Samsonov goes on Monday too, that'll tell you where Coach Cassidy views the goaltenders right now. I know they're making comments about, they just want Adin Hill to get some time in front of the Canadian coaches and stuff for the 4 Nations. I think that's a bunch of baloney. I'll leave it at that because I got my son with me. It's a little more a PG show today. But if Samsonov goes back to back in any of these games and Adin Hill is not hurt, something is up with the goalies. So I guess, Chris, I'll ask you a question. Let's pretend right now both goalies are going to be healthy for all 82 games this season. Who plays more games, Samsonov or Hill?
It's hard. It's hard to tell right now. By the way, it's been for these last few seasons. I think it'll be a Hill, even though I really hope it's Samsonoff. By the way, Hill's been playing.
Yeah, and listen, Samsonoff is a roller coaster of a goalie. We're seeing the good in Samsonoff. I mean, a lot of goalies are roller coasters, but Samsonoff has had some very good stretches of hockey in his career. He's had some very bad stretches of hockey in his career. So, pump the brakes a little bit here. Adin Hill still does have a Stanley Cup ring. He still did put up the second highest save percentage in the history of the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs since they started measuring that stat. So, we're not going to not acknowledge the good that Adin Hill has done, but it seems to come in small spurts. So hopefully Adin Hill finds his game, and hopefully Adin Hill, if Adin Hill does get the lion's share of the starts, that means he's healthy, and that could be good for the Golden Knights. So there's concern about the goalies right now, but on the flip side, the Golden Knights are scoring goals. They haven't necessarily needed a goalie to bail them out yet, so maybe that's just a perfect balance. And next week with especially some of these games on the road, the Golden Knights can squeak out a 3-2 or a 2-1 type of victory. So, yeah. All right, that's our discussion over Adin Hill in particular. Tonight, Chris, who are the Golden Knights playing?
It's not. Don't worry, it's not a real game. It's just a scrimmage. Just the Sharks.
That's how I listed, Chris. I think I told you I listed our tickets on Access because you got a hockey practice tonight. I didn't feel like going tonight, and in the notes it actually says it should be labeled as a scrimmage game. Listen, the Sharks. I mean, they come in 0-6-2, 2 points on the season, -17 in goal differential here. So it's going to be difficult to find anything positive as far as, I mean, William Karlsson's coming back tonight. That's a positive for the Golden Knights. Nicholas Hague looks like he's going to be out. Korzak is going to draw in his place. So as far as how the lines shake out, the top line is going to stay together. Everything, and the fourth line, I think, Pearson, I think, is going to go up with Karlsson. So we'll see exactly how that shakes out. I don't know if a practice report's come out besides how they started. Let's look at some Sharks stats here. I mean, listen, Mikhail Granlund, 9 points. Tyler Toffoli, 7 points. I feel bad for Tyler Toffoli getting stuck in San Jose. And then William Eklund, 5 points. Zetterlund, 3 points. I don't know. As far as the goaltenders go, Mackenzie Blackwood, 0-3-2, 3.88 goals against, and 8.97 save percentage. It's actually respectable given the circumstances. Vanacek is 0-3, 3.14 goals against, but save percentage a little bit lower at 8.84. So are you concerned about this game at all? Could this be a trap game, Chris? Could this be a game where the Golden Knights are a little bit tired? They played last night. The Sharks got to win a game at some point. Can tonight be the night the game? Can tonight be the weird game that the Sharks find a way to win?
I do not think so one bit, but everyone thought that the very last preseason game in Vegas, and look what they did to us. What we did to Ottawa yesterday.
I'm with you on that, Chris. We're referencing the preseason game. It was a dress rehearsal. They played the Sharks. It was the type of game where I felt the Golden Knights just needed to win like 4 or 5-1 or 6-1, just kind of get them in the right mindset. And then the Sharks, kind of like the Ottawa game, it was the reverse of the Ottawa game, right? They get a multi-goal comeback at the end, kind of, and win the game in regulations. So, I mean, it's preseason. Who cares, I guess, at this point? Obviously, we were more concerned about it then than we need to be now. So you're very confident tonight, no concern. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the Golden Knights are going to lose this game, and a 10, the Golden Knights are going to win this game, where would you rate yourself?
Between a 9 and 8.
Okay, so you feel pretty good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go right to our locks of the night and predictions. We'll keep it short and sweet today. Tony mailed his in using snail mail. Tony's gonna go with Pietrangelo, who I think is 6 points in the last 2 games, just tearing it up right now. Dorofeev, and a 4-1 Vegas Golden Knights victory. Chris, go ahead. What do you got for tonight?
Let's go 4-1 Vegas. And let's go Jack Eichel and William Karlsson.
Eichel, 2
Hashtag
more
shut up,
assists
Tony.
last night, improves on the season. Where is Eichel even with points right now? Was he 11 or 12 points already? Let's look at some VGK stats here really fast. All right, so Eichel or Mark Stone, 14 points, 8 games. Eichel, 13 points. Barbashev, 11. That top line's got 28. Geez, they're averaging over 3 points a game right now. That's remarkable. Almost 4 points a game. That's just that's something right there. That is definitely something for that top line right now. So awesome what we're seeing out of the top line. Pietrangelo up to 9 points on the season. Hurdle goals in consecutive games. Real nice goal from the bumper position. Shea Theodore, 7. He's getting a point a game right now. And Tanner Pearson's got 5 points. Tanner Pearson, a month ago this time, did not even have a contract with the Vegas Golden Knights. A month ago today might have been his first practice with the Golden Knights, and he's got 5 points on the young season. So certainly some important notables right there. For me, for tonight's locks in the game, give me Barbashev. Seems like he's heating up right now. William Karlsson as well. It's probably not going to be an empty netter, but you never know. I'm going to go 5-2 Vegas just because I don't think it's going to be I don't know. It's not going to be I don't think it's going to be a crisp game tonight. It's a back-to-back. I know it's the Sharks, but it's still a back-to-back scenario. Karlsson is in, Haig is out. That's going to cause some lineup issues, as people get back to getting comfortable out there again. Korczak is going to draw in. Ben Hutton not drawing in twice now, and we've had defenders out for the Golden Knights, so we'll see why Huddy can't get in a game lately. So, Chris, you feeling pretty good in general about the season right now? Are you more enthused than maybe you were when things first started, or are you still just kind of waiting to see?
Still kind of waiting to see. We're definitely better at home.
That's fair. I mean, listen, the Golden Knights are scoring goals. If there's one thing that everyone, including myself, was concerned about, it was goal scoring. A lot of players left the team. Golden Knights are scoring goals right now. That's good. The concern is the goaltenders. Nothing has really changed in that department, but they're winning games right now, they being the Golden Knights. I mean, if the recipe to success for a lot of teams, Chris, is win 75% of your games at home, win 50% of your games on the road, get you in the playoffs, and then you see what happens from there. So my perspective hasn't changed a lot about the Golden Knights. I didn't have a lot of confidence coming into the season. My confidence maybe has shifted a little bit to the positive side, but let's talk in about a month from now when it's American Thanksgiving. That's a good time to really have a good temperature check on what kind of team we're dealing with here. All right, short and sweet today. I think that's going to do it for the Chris and Chris show. Make sure you check out Locked On VGK Monday through Friday on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcast. That's myself and Tony Cordasco. Saturdays is the Chris and Chris exclusive, only on YouTube. Next show will be up on Monday, talking about the Sharks game, and we'll be previewing the Gary Flames game. For myself, for little Chris, thank you for checking on Locked On Vegas Golden Knights, and please take care.